That's funny because my Bible is on my bookshelf near my bed, and every night I think about reading it, and I was like, "Oh, I can't. I don't have the energy. I'm gonna fall asleep." So thank you for giving me permission to fall asleep in my father's arms. That is a beautiful image. Welcome to First Light, where I speak with people like me who have converted to Catholicism. In this episode, I sat down with my friend Symone to hear about her journey into the church. She shared how RCIA gave her a true sense of community, how her Jewish upbringing helped her appreciate Catholic life, and how prayer and service have become part of her daily routine. I hope you enjoy this special conversation with my friend Symone. Welcome, Simone, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really super excited to hear more about your journey as a Catholic. We actually know each other in real life. You want to explain how that is?
I met Alex during RCIA, OCIA class, and I was like, oh, he looks super friendly and nice. And then during those like 9, 10 months, we got to know each other, and here we are today, friends.
I don't know if I'd characterize myself as super friendly and nice, but I yeah, I want to be approachable, but I'm also
He has
like,
a nice energy. I like gravitate towards good energy, I feel.
well, same here. And I'm not terribly social myself personally. And I know like that RCIA class. So we were the final cohort of RCIAs. It's now OCIAs for the rest of time. Um,
Yeah,
I it was kind of awkward for me. I really was
it was
very
definitely
I was
awkward.
very uncomfortable. Like how did you feel doing it?
It definitely getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you could just see how the longer we went on, how the classes changed and how we all interacted with each other.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, like everybody was kind of afraid to share what they were really thinking.
Yep.
And then, every different step we did, it's just like we got closer, we were more open. And at the end, like everybody was laughing,
Yeah.
having a good time. But yeah, those first couple classes were definitely tough. And then I remember, what was it? Was it the signing? No, we had some big moment. I forgot. It was like one of these like,
We got the
what was
cross
it?
necklace.
Was it the cross
Is that a
necklace that
spoiler alert?
everybody
Maybe we're not supposed to tell the world about that. Okay,
okay.
so never delete that part. Um, I
But there was like a moment that we all got super close.
okay.
Like it wasn't our baptism. It was like a step before that. I think it was maybe the signing when we
Yes,
went to
yes,
St.
I know
Patrick.
I remember that very clearly, yeah, and I
Yeah.
remember sitting there in the pew as we're all about to go write our names in this book, I remember
Yes.
really having some, like, "Wow, do I really deserve this?" I mean, I felt it was that
Yeah.
special, you know?
It was so cool, and we went to St. Patrick's,
Yeah,
and Cardinal Dolan was there,
yeah,
and then I remember he invited everybody to go up and stand on the stage, and we had Fernando, which was one of our, leaders in OCIA, and he's like, "Go up there." I was like, no." He's like, "No, you're gonna regret it. Go up there."
yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." And I went up there, and he got a picture of me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm glad he pushed me to go up there. Like, when else am I gonna have this opportunity to be like, hey, let me get a picture with like this sitting cardinal? Like,
Yeah,
not often."
yeah. Yeah, really, I did not expect so when I got started, I was like, "I'd like to sign up to be Catholic now, please."
Yeah.
Right? And I met with the church staff member, and, she gently explained the process, and, "Okay, cool. Now come to these classes." And they're once or twice a week, but I remember at the time thinking like, "Oh, really? Come on."
Yeah.
Did you feel like it was a lot? Like, "Wow, I didn't realize
No,
what
I
went
was
into it?"
exhausted. Like, I mean, I know everybody at some points was like, I don't feel like being here.
Yeah.
And it was like, being in New York, it's super cold. Like
Yeah.
walking to OCIA,
Uh,
and like I'd go home and put on sweatpants. I know everybody else looked nice. I was like, no, I don't care. I'm freezing. This
yeah.
wind is harsh. And like it became a lot. And then afterwards I was like, oh, what do I do now? Like, but
Right?
I feel like it's one of those things. It's like the process. It's like you hate like going to the gym, or you hate certain times of the process, and then at the end you're like, oh wow, like
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it, just during it's tough.
I did too. I mean, there were certainly nights where I was like, ugh, exhausted, you know?
Yes,
Um, but you're absolutely right that uh, it formed community,
it
and
really did.
it really did. And yeah, we've got a WhatsApp group going, and that's nice and all. But there are some relationships I think that were formed that will endure for a long, long time, lifelong,
For
right?
sure.
Yeah,
And I'm so glad I now have a community. I feel like I had like no friends when I moved back to New
yeah,
York. So it's just like it was
yeah,
nice. Like I was like, okay, and I really want to treasure these connections I made with everybody because like I need a community,
yeah,
Like it's nice having community.
yeah. It really is, especially when it comes to these subjects, because you know uh, subjects around religion are very sensitive, and everybody has different viewpoints and many different traditions, all in the same place in our lives, either physically or online. And like, I have found it very relaxing, to have a community of people who I know where there's like a baseline of stuff that we generally agree on, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But let me ask you, what was your background growing up? Did you grow up in a particular religious tradition?
Um, Jewish actually. My dad's whole side of the family is Jewish, Ashkenazi Jews. And then before I was born, my mom converted to Judaism, to please his side of the family and my grandmother. So we were brought up Jewish. Um, and then like my parents, they wanted me to have a bat mitzvah, but I also had like stage fright and I don't like being the center of attention. That was really hard for me. So I didn't want to do that. And like, I don't know, maybe I didn't feel that big of a connection. Hebrew school, it's like a lot of it's learning Hebrew. Maybe not so much the Lord. And also the Jewish temple we went to, like we were considered conservative. So like usually the services are done in Hebrew, so it's just like when you don't understand the language, it's boring. Like, you know what I mean? And then also, like, I was going to Hebrew school at this really good Hebrew school at one time. And then my parents, they were like, oh, they found like somewhere it was a little bit cheaper. And you could tell because I wasn't learning as much. So, you just lose interest in it. So that's kind of like I was Jewish. And then I went to college and high school, and I really wasn't religious after that. After Hebrew school, I was just like, whatever. My parents were like, whatever. Became really secular. I mean, I feel like that's like the normal story for a lot of
Yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah. So when did you first hear about Catholicism? When did you first become aware that it was a thing?
Like, growing up, you hear people like my best friend is Catholic. I mean, I went to her confirmation and all that good stuff. So like it's always been around. Like my husband's Catholic, so and growing up in the Northeast, like there's a lot of Catholic churches.
Yeah, yeah. So was there a moment where you something just clicked for you and you're like, "Oh, yes, actually makes perfect sense." Because let me just say,
Uh,
Catholicism is a lot, right?
yeah,
It's a lot.
mhm,
There are other traditions where you could just show up and be like, "I need to be saved," and, boom, 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 pretty there you go,
yeah,
right? Like, you really gotta invest. They make you work for it, right? So,
yeah, they do.
at what point were you like, "This is the thing for me?"
Well, I was doing a lot of research because I knew I wanted to become more religious, and like being Jewish, like my dad actually became Christian, and I was just like, I didn't look that much into like Christianity or Catholicism or anything like that because like I don't know, in the back of your mind you're like, I don't want to disappoint my parents type of thing.
Sure.
But then he became Christian and I was just like, well, like that kind of gives me the okay to kind of see where I want to fit in and what I want to do.
Yeah.
So then I started doing a lot of research into the different faiths, like like kind of non-denominational, finding out about like the Eastern Orthodox Church, Catholicism, because when I was going to the non denominational churches, I was talking to my friend Jess, and she's Catholic. And she's just like, yeah, like they're fun, but she's just like, there's no tradition. And I was just like, yeah. And I also was like, not to like, I don't want to say my dad's church, but there was like a review on the website or not on the website, but on Google. And it said, it's really nice, but where's like the crosses or where's Jesus? And I was like, you're right. Like, where is Jesus? Like, where are the crosses? Where's this, I guess, imagery of God and all that? So when my friend said that, my friend Jess told me that, and then I read that review, I was like, okay, like, let me look more into it. And then my husband, like, also, he was Catholic. He wasn't really practicing. He had some weird thing, not weird, like traumatic things that happened in the past with the church. Not to go into that much, but like, I was just like, I just didn't think he wanted to be part of that religion anymore. He was just like not about it. And he was just like, no, there's just sometimes there's bad people and but it doesn't mean that the religion's bad. And because I love, there's great things about the religion that I really do love. It's just and I was just like, that made me think. I was like, yeah, because he's like, there's bad people in every group, you know what I mean? And I was like, okay. And he was Catholic, and I was just like, all right, well, let me give it a try. He's already Catholic. I like, if we have children, I want to be of the same faith as well. So I
Hmm.
was like, it's kind of how I got into being Catholic because I was between this and Orthodoxy. And then when I was reading about Orthodoxy, I heard it's really like, I'm trying to think of the words to say this, like your region, like there's like Greek Orthodoxy and like like Russian Orthodoxy, and I'm not Greek, or
Yeah.
Russian,
Yeah.
so I don't know how. I'm not saying they wouldn't be welcoming or anything like that, but I don't know how I would feel like you know going in there not speaking the language, or
Yeah.
I don't even know how they would do it there or
Yeah.
their customs or anything like that.
Yeah. I know nothing about those traditions, and
Yeah,
just on my first thought about that is like I want to go to the one that's the most all embracing, right?
yeah,
Where there isn't a flavor like that,
yeah.
and that's one thing that drew me to the Catholic Church was this the universality of it, right? And I know that wherever I go, I know pretty much what to expect, whether it's in New York City
Mhm.
or Dallas or London. I go to Catholic Mass, I know what to expect. Whereas if I went to an Orthodox or some other tradition, I would be kind of out of my element. So I wanted that comfort of knowing that anywhere in the world I could find something that,
and
that I
and I
knew.
love the tradition too. Like Judaism has a lot of tradition in it, and I see that in Catholicism as
Mm,
well. Like there's a lot of tradition, and I love that
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
That's nice. Like that's maybe what I was missing. Like what I liked about Judaism,
yeah.
and then like kind of going to the non-denominational church for a little bit, and then going to Catholicism. I do like it. It's nice. I don't I it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just a different feeling, and it makes it feel more holy. I guess I can say, I can use.
I totally get that, and I really,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Did you have any misconceptions about what Catholicism was that were cleared up by the RCIA process?
I had no idea about the Holy Trinity like at all. Like I was always confused. My husband trying to explain it to me. The misconceptions. Like the allegations back then. You all hear that, but then I was just like, it's everywhere. Like sometimes there's just bad people everywhere, but and then just all my little questions that I had, like little things that I would ask my husband that they would clear up for me.
So, were there any Catholic teachings that you found challenging or difficult to accept, or that were kind of like stumbling blocks on the way to saying yes to this tradition?
I mean, the Pope was one. I thought that was
Huh.
like, because like when I was debating between Catholicism and Orthodoxy, I was like, I like how they don't have like a Pope,
Okay.
So that was one thing. Um, and like I was going down YouTube. I feel like a lot of people do.
As
Like you
one
go down
does, of course.
the rabbit hole, and like you hear people talking about idolatry and like saying that they worship Mary and
Oh
like
yeah,
all the common things.
it's the biggest
So
one.
I was just like, oh, like and they're like saying like you hear like demons and like all these things, and it's just like there's a lot out
There's a
there.
lot. Oh yeah.
And I just like I had this like epiphany. It's just like I feel like with Catholicism, it's like I don't have to think because it's already been thought of. Like I feel like I don't want to think. Like I just want to be told, like like okay, like this is what it is. Like I feel like with a lot of Protestant, it's just like it's a lot of trying to figure out what they're trying to figure out what God is saying to them,
Uh-huh.
and in Catholicism, they're already telling you. They're like, this is what He's saying to us. Like
That
there's
that is
no argument in it.
that is so deep, and I 100% feel that. And it's funny because 10 years ago, I would have laughed at anybody who would think that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, what? You want somebody to tell you what to think? You're not smart enough? Like, but something clicked for me where I was like, I think, hope it's humility, right? Where it's like, no,
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
and part of it, I think, was just I was tired of trying to figure stuff
Yeah.
out. Like, they have the Catholic Church has professionals. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's their job to figure this stuff out. Life's deepest questions. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So it
And
was,
I feel like you get wiser with age,
yeah, of
like because it's like when you're younger, like I can figure it out on my own. Like I don't need your
course.
advice or anything.
Yeah.
And then it's like you said, it's humility. It's just like I don't know everything. Like instead of trying to figure this out so many times, like maybe I should just like here I go. Like
Yeah.
let's do this.
And does that mean that you 100% sign on? We don't have to go into specifics, but do you 100% sign on to every Catholic teaching?
I don't know. That's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, we don't have to go into specifics, but because I'll say it's like one thing that appealed to me is nobody ever said you have to like blindly believe every last opinion or teaching of the church.
Yeah.
Nobody said that, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's probably some that I can't think of, but I did want to say this real quick. So I was like online, I don't know, might have been on Reddit or YouTube or whatever,
Yeah.
and that someone like asked Chat GPT about like the different
Yeah.
churches and like if you had to pick religion or what would you pick, and he was like something about like okay, well the Protestant church or was started by like okay, or the Lutheran church was started by like Martin Luther,
Mhm.
and like the Baptist church I think was like Roger Good or something like that.
Okay.
But the Catholic church was started by Jesus Christ. And I was like, wow, that was really, really insightful chat GPT. Like I was like, that makes sense. Like Jesus, God started the Catholic Church. So
Pretty
I
good
mean,
pretty good argument for Catholicism, in my
yeah.
opinion.
Like I was like, that really was
I
insightful.
love that.
I even told my friend, like her husband, like he's from the South and she's Catholic from the North. And they're thinking about sending their daughter to Catholic school. And
Yeah.
he's just like, I'm Baptist. Like, and I was just like, tell him that. Like, let's see what he has to say. Because, like, I really enjoy it. Like, I really love it. I like going to
Yeah.
Mass. Like, I'm bad. I like going on Saturdays at night instead of like Sundays, but like I like my Saturday crew.
Still
Like you see the
counts.
same people come. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I love church. I love mass. And then even like it did clear up stuff for me because like I wasn't religious before I got married. And I was talking to my friend Nikki. She was like, "What was your relationship with God when you were trying to find somebody to marry and have a partner?" I was like, I didn't really have a relationship with God. I had a relationship with God after I got married. And so now that I am married, like, I didn't realize like how much importance God is in a relationship, like in one of the sacraments. Like, I was like, oh, wow. Like, I was just like, like, he's just like, I love him. Like, he's awesome. He's my partner for life. But I didn't realized how much emphasis it was in the church as well. So there's certain things that surprised me and opened up my eyes and things about family and I don't know, yeah.
I hope you've been enjoying this conversation. If you'd like to support this mission and help me keep bringing you stories like Simone's, please consider joining my Patreon. You'll find the link down below in the YouTube description. And if you're interested in appearing on the show yourself, You can learn more and get in touch at firstlight.life. And now, back to the conversation. So, what was baptism like for you?
It was very long.
It was long.
But it was beautiful. Like,
Yeah,
it was like there were so many people there to support us.
yeah,
Like, and not just like our family and our friends, like it was the whole church, and there were so many people there, and it was
packed.
late. It was packed, and it was late, and like St. Ignatius is, I mean, you might have to cut the name out, whatever, but that's a big church. Like, where it is in
Yeah,
Manhattan, it's big, and
yeah.
like everybody, and it was a long service. It was like, what, 4.5 hours?
I think I
Something like
blacked
that.
out at some point. I don't even. It was so long.
And everybody
Everybody stayed.
stayed, which was insane. Like, I was like, wow. And then the best part was, like, there was like this like party at the end,
Yeah,
and the whole community, the whole church went afterwards. Like, it was just so welcoming, and everybody was coming up to us, congratulating us.
yeah.
I loved giving Father Yesolona a hug. And I mean, the team was so amazing. Like, every single one of them made the experience special for me. Like, a different memory from each one. Like, it was amazing. Like, I loved it. Like, it was, and then yeah, it was really nice.
I agree with you. I was blown away. I had no idea what to expect, and they didn't tell you a whole lot. They wanted you to be surprised. Um,
Yeah,
uh, but they really make it special, you know?
they really
They really
did.
do.
Like,
Yeah,
everybody that, like, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law came, and my sister came, and they were just like, it was so beautiful. Like, it
yeah,
was just like, with the candles, we had the candles, and I was just like, everything. It was so nice.
yeah.
And not the baptism, but like another part at our church. Remember when they had the liturgical dancers with like the
Oh, yeah.
flags?
Yeah.
I was like, that was so nice. I didn't even know they did
Me
that.
neither. Who knew? It's so funny, you pass, particularly where we live, you pass by these churches and the beautiful buildings, and who knows what goes on there until you really get involved.
It
Yeah,
really, though, and I love how each church is like the same order, but I love how they all have like their little different like spice on it. Like
yeah,
St. Ignatius, we went to that church in
yep,
Harlem. That was super
yep,
fun. Like the church by me, like how they sing songs and things like that. They all do it different. They all put like their different fun
yeah.
things on it. And I love that too. Like it's the same but different, you know?
Yeah, that was Saint Joseph of the Holy Family, right? I think that's the name of that church in Harlem.
Yes, that was so much fun. I want to go back.
Gospel mass. Who knew? Who knew there was a gospel mass?
It was so
Yeah,
amazing. Like,
yeah,
it was so amazing. I
yeah.
wish we didn't go to that bakery because I was just like, I drank that latte so fast and went through me. I was dying. But like, I had the best time.
Yeah, me too.
I'm trying to go back. Like, when
Yeah.
came, and I want to take my husband too. I told him, I was like, you have to go next time we go.
It's so beautiful and so unique, and I think
It
really
really,
speaks to the diversity of the church. Every every place where Catholicism is practiced, it picks up those influences, and you see that particularly in the saints. Today is the feast day of a saint whose name I don't remember, but I know that he's Korean, right? So there's
I want to see if I have it on my
yeah,
phone.
yeah, yeah.
So now I need to
All
know.
over the world, every country has some interpretation of Catholicism that is uniquely their own, and yet still manages to be part of the one holy Catholic Church, right? You
Yes.
know? Yeah. So where did you where did you feel most at home once you were fully Catholic? Like, as you think, and that was back in April. So how long is this?
Yeah.
May, June, July, August, September. We've been Catholic for about 5 months. Where
Yes.
where do you feel most at home?
Like, during like I feel at home at church, you
Yeah.
know. I really do feel at home at church. Like, before I was Catholic, or, thinking about doing all that, like, they intimidating me to go into like a holy place in a
Yeah.
church. Like I felt uncomfortable. Like I was just like, I don't know if I belong here. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it feels weird to me, and it also like kind of scared me, like in a way, because like God is like intimidating sometimes, and like especially in Judaism too. Like um God reads different, I guess you can say,
Yeah.
in the Older Testament. So like I was like afraid of sometimes like even going into a church. So now I feel like comfortable, like it's way more welcoming.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, every time I walk into, and we could say it, St. Ignatius of Loyola.
Yeah,
Every time I walk into St. Ignatius, I have this moment of like, this is beautiful.
it really
This is
is.
this is
It's so
incredible,
beautiful.
and I belong here, and I'm a part of
Yeah,
this. I never in my life imagined I would have that kind of feeling walking into a place of worship. You know, yeah, I love.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
incredible. And everybody's super friendly there. And there's so many, like, it's just a diverse group of
yeah,
people, like from different ages and different walks of life,
yeah,
like just coming together. It's nice. I like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, how has your faith changed the way that you see your daily life?
Um, I honestly try to be a better person. Like stuff that I would do in the past, I try not to do anymore.
Hmm.
Like, um, I try to like in my day. I always think like be more Christ-like. That's what I think of. And like when
Yeah,
I take the Eucharist, like I'm like be more like Christ, and that's what I take every day. Like be more like Christ. Like have more patience. Like
yeah,
take that extra breath before you respond. Like just be more like him. I'm not trying to sin,
yeah,
like things like that. Like we got baptized. I'm trying to keep that clean card.
yeah.
So all I think of is like be more like Christ. Like I need my Eucharist every week to like freshen me up and just be more like him.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I I catch myself going off the rails more quickly.
Yeah.
Like so when I get into a resentment and I start like lecturing somebody who's not in the room,
Hmm.
cuz and I do that. It's such a character flaw. Like I will get upset about something and then next thing you know I'm pouring energy into like exactly what I would say if they were here. And of
Oh,
course
I do that all the time.
I wouldn't and it would never come out of my mouth correctly the way I want it to, right? It would either yeah, it would be bad.
Or you think of the best thing to say like 5 hours later. I'm like, I should have said that.
Yeah. I am catching myself doing it and then here's the thing about like therapy. I feel like therapy helps you get good at catching things, but then the question is what do you do with them? Right? You just
Yeah.
sit there in meditative awareness and hope they float away. That doesn't work for me. So I ask
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I ask Jesus Christ, I pray to be relieved of that suffering, of that character defect. You know,
Yeah.
there's somebody I can talk to, right?
Mhm.
Please help me because this thing that I do is so toxic and so unhelpful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a daily thing, you know? And it's so like it's so kind of like mundane, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like in my daily life I regularly see the heavens opening up and what like
Mm.
no, it's like I'm a little less of a jerk.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you're human. That's how
Yeah.
I feel. Like I'm just like I gotta stay
Yeah.
nice. Like I can come off like really like like I if people piss me off, like I just can't like I'm like I can't help myself. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Like, or someone like types me something rude at work, I'm just like, I can be really mean back. Like, I'm not like
Yeah.
you don't know me. Like you don't know me.
Oh, that's funny. So you mentioned going to mass weekly. What about other? Because Catholic tradition has all sorts of stuff you can do, right? Are there any other practices that you find particularly meaningful, specific prayers or what have you?
I mean, I do my Okay, it's gonna sound bad, but I do my morning prayer on the subway and I do my evening prayer at night.
Yep.
And I have the app, I have the Magnificat app. So I do like, I'm like, all right, I'm doing more than other people. And I do go to mass.
I love it. It's a contest for sure. It's a
Yeah.
contest. I do that too. Yeah.
And then I'm like, and then I do like, I like finding out the saints of the day. I like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
October 26th,
Yep.
I am going to go to St. Ignatius. I'm going to make the sandwiches.
Great.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm going to do that. I have the date. It's one of my best friend's birthdays. I'm not going to see her, so I might as well make some sandwiches.
Yeah.
And then maybe I want to volunteer more. The other Alex in our RCIA group, he joined the Friends of board at my sister's cemetery. My sister, I told you, works at a
Yeah.
cemetery as a permanent resident, a permanent real estate agent
Got it.
for plots or whatever. And he's on the board now, so I might go and volunteer.
Very cool.
The Friends on board. They have like different events. They do. I think I told you like swing dancing. They have like different shows. Like people play music there.
Yeah.
Like the school comes. Like the elementary school comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you would be. I mean, you'd be surprised how much a cemetery does. I didn't even realize.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So service for sure. That to me, I really. Well, I'm not going to quote scripture. Judging the thing by its fruits, right?
Yeah.
And I really thought a lot about like what are these different churches, religious institutions doing for others, right? Um,
Hmm.
because my impression was that Catholicism is very focused on service. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
they don't, and I don't want to make sweeping generalizations about other religions, but it was just
Yeah.
it was obvious to me. Right,
Yeah.
Saint Vincent de Paul Society. That's a term I've known long before I knew anything about Catholicism, a name of an
Hmm.
organization. Like, if somebody had asked me 30 years ago, what does Saint Vincent de Paul do? I'd be like, oh, like the stores where they had a thrift store arm of it, I believe, at one point. And there was a Saint Vincent de Paul down the road, and you knew that if you needed clothes and you couldn't afford new clothes, you could go there. It was, and at the time, I didn't think about that and think like, that's because they're Catholic. It was just a
Yeah.
household name. You know what I mean? So that service emphasis really spoke to me. What about are there any specific prayers that really move you?
No.
No.
I mean, no. Like the ones I say, like in my Magnificat, there's a repeating part in every single like in the morning prayer and the evening prayer. So the repeating part
Yeah.
I enjoy, but there's not like I'm bad. Like it's not like I go through like scripture and like find something that like
Yeah.
I really like love, or I haven't found something that like is just like each one it changes every day.
Yeah.
So like there's some that are like more powerful or hit me like harder than other ones, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember Sky, she was telling us about praying and she's just like some days like it's just not gonna you don't feel like doing it or you're it's not gonna be as in it doesn't feel as great or it doesn't like you're just like whatever and she's just like and that's fine, that's normal, that's human. And that's what I think was so great about the classes. It's like all the things I was thinking in my head somebody else said. Like I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my god, I'm not the only one thinking this way. Like
Yeah. Sky did a really great job of that. We were blessed to have an RCIA teacher. Um, we had several, and Sky is an educator, and she works
yeah,
with young people, and so she had incredible ability to talk about things in the most relaxed and natural way, you know,
she really, yeah,
and
she was so good.
and you could tell she'd been asked these questions probably 2,000 times, right?
Hmm.
And she had an answer ready, but the answer never felt forced. It never felt. It was always like totally correct and totally sincere, and that takes real skill, you know, for a
Yeah.
teacher. Yeah, that was really cool.
She was so good. She was like one of my favorites, and you know, even her telling us about like her journey. She's like, you know, I dropped out of RCIA,
Right.
and I thought that was so powerful for her to say because you don't remember Nikki, but Nikki was in our group, but she dropped out and she's like, I want to go back. I'm like, go back. And
Yeah.
she's like, I was like, Sky dropped out. She's like, Sky dropped out? I was like, yes. And, Sky is awesome. She knows so much. I know she's gotten her master's, or maybe she has a high degree,
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
in theology and things like that. And, she has like 20 million rosaries. Like, she's like Miss Catholic, but
Yeah.
she's like awesome. She's like really easy
Yeah.
to talk to. I was like, she dropped out. She was just like shocked. And I was
Yeah.
just like, whoa, like go back. And when I saw Erica on Sunday, which is another member of our CIA, one of the leaders, she was like, I saw her name on the thing. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad that she decided to go back because, like,
Yeah.
sometimes, like, do it in your time. You can't compare yourself to other people. And that's what I'm learning when I get older as well. It's like everybody has their own path, their own time.
Yeah.
So you can't compare yourself to other people. Like, do it when you're ready. And she was just like, I'm so glad you told me that. So it's just like little, like, things that people drop it makes an impact on people.
Yeah. It's that structure plus flexibility. You
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that about it.
Yeah.
So, what kind of advice would you have for someone who is considering becoming Catholic? Because Catholics, we don't go out there with pamphlets. We're not like
Yeah.
knocking on people's doors. Like, hey, like, so you really have to, look for it, right? And
Yeah.
seek it out and ask questions. Because you're not just nobody's gonna slap a Bible in your hand and be like, come to my church this Sunday, right? If somebody has that itch, what would your advice be to them?
I mean, I feel like the Catholic Church is the first church. Like, I mean, like, after Jesus came out, this was his church. This is the church that he started. These are the things that he said, and this is the way that he explained it. Like, yeah, I know there's parables and things like that, but when he was teaching it to his disciples and the people there, they understood what he was saying, and that's how they're conveying it in the Bible. He started the Catholic Church. Protestants and, like, not like, or like different denominations, I feel like when I was going through it, there's a lot of highlighting, and means this, and when you see this string of words, that's what it means. It's just like, I'm not going to sit there and try to decipher something when it's already been deciphered for me. And, like, I mean, just like everything, poor that you hear about, like things that happened in the past, like there's a lot of bad things that do happen that we don't hear about. And I mean, it happens everywhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
sadly it does. But honestly, like, I love, the structure. I love that, like, everything, like you said, different, you could go to each Catholic church. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the homily, maybe some of the traditions are a little bit different, but everything, the meat and potatoes are the same.
Yeah.
Like, you go to all these different churches, it's all different things that they're talking about. Like, I'm
Yeah.
going to think of something new to talk about. And in the Catholic Church, they have this calendar. Like, we talk about this on this day. And I love that.
Yeah.
And I just think it's, like, honestly, like, the one true, like, church of Jesus Christ. And with the Pope, like, I kind of got over that hump
I
of the
I
Pope.
meant to ask you about that, your
Yes.
feelings about the Pope. Yeah, and Pope Leo specifically because he came in right as we were, started on a
Yes.
journey.
And I got over the Pope situation because I'm just like, I feel like God and Jesus put the Pope in place
Yeah.
because they know that times change. That's how I feel. Like,
Huh.
times change and we have to become,
Yeah.
effective in the different times. So I feel like, and be able to make decisions that are still true to the
Yeah.
church, but still being able to get new disciples and new people. But they need a leader to be able to do that. So I mean, maybe
Huh.
that's my thought process.
I never thought about it that way. That's really interesting. Having
Yeah.
somebody in charge, not for, ever, but
Yeah.
like having somebody in charge uh to make some important decisions gives the church flexibility. That's a very interesting observation. Yeah. Yeah, and there are Catholics who aren't into that. Like, there's Catholics who feel
Yeah,
like, Vatican II was a disaster. I don't even know about all of that, but, like, there's, like, a fringe group of Catholics that don't acknowledge the legitimacy of any pope after Vatican II. Have you heard about that one?
that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I
no end of drama and fun things to learn about, But I really like your perspective on the function of the Pope. Speaking of Pope Leo, he's doing a lot of interesting things. He did something with approving Latin Mass. I think there was some policy where you couldn't actively promote Latin Mass. You could do it, just don't talk
Oh,
about it a lot, right? And
yeah,
I still haven't gone down this rabbit hole because I'm just not ready. But I do want to know what the deal is with Latin Mass and why people are. There's like this whole side of Catholicism is obsessed with it, right? P.S.
yeah.
P.S. I had a dream in Latin last night for the first time in my life. A prayer that
Did you understand it?
no, it was from a song that I listen to a lot.
Okay.
That's Ubi Caritas, and it's a vocal arrangement. And
Okay.
so I hear the song every day. It's my ringtone when I wake up in the morning, right? And it means wherever God is, there is love. Ubi caritas.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to misquote it now, but in my in my dream, it came out great. But this obsession with the Latin Mass, right? What do you make of the Latin Mass? Do you have an opinion on that?
It must be like when they're singing and when you get that feeling, because like some, like I feel like churches that you go into, especially like the older ones, like you feel like, oh, it's like super holy. Like I feel like
Yeah.
maybe you get chills, like,
Huh.
oh wow, like you feel like God really in this, like in the presence of this of his home, I
Yeah.
guess you can say. Like you really feel it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I feel like maybe it's just like a big hug, like a warm like embrace.
Yeah. Well, just leaning into that coziness of tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. What else about Leo have you learned? What do you like about him? Any concerns?
I love that he's from the United States. Because it was funny. My husband was like, "Oh, like we're never gonna get a pope. They'll never pick a superpower. They're
Yeah.
no, no, no."
Yeah.
And then the very next day, because I was watching it like live, like I was like, "I'm not missing this." I was
Yeah.
working from home, like I had it on YouTube on my like big screen, like on my like TV, and my husband was like, "I'm not watching this," but like he had to watch it. And then they said like Pope Leo, and I was like, and they were like, he's American. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then I remember I saw Kim because it was like our last day of RCIA, and I remember being like, USA, USA, thrilled, like thrilled. Like we can have some English masses at the Vatican. Like love
Yeah.
that. I mean, they were probably already doing that, but like love it. I love his brothers are excited about it.
Yeah.
Love that he's a Chicago fan, like love it. I think didn't he go to Duke or something?
Mhm.
Love that
Yeah.
for him. And I'm just excited to see what he has to bring. Like, I mean, it's fun. Like, what new things are you going to bring to the Catholic Church? What
Yeah.
old things you're going to bring back? Like, let's see. I mean, I feel like this is like because I didn't really know that much about Pope Francis that much because
Yeah.
I don't think I was still new and I was still processing the Pope. So after he passed away, I learned a lot more about him. I was like, oh wow, what a kind,
Yeah.
what a kind man. And then now I'm just like, I'm excited to see what the new Pope has in store, I guess.
Yeah, I did not have an awareness of Pope Francis at all. Even as we were going, it was like on my list of 100 Catholic things I wanted
Yeah.
to learn about.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But then Pope Leo came in, and yes, being able to understand his native tongue, right?
Yeah.
Receiving it through this familiar face really has been so fun for me. And every
Yeah.
time I see him, I'm subscribed to the Vatican's Instagram, and every time they post, I usually look at this like late at night. That's probably shouldn't, but I go on
Yeah.
social media, and every time Pope Leo pops up, I watch the whole thing, and I just soak it
Yeah.
in, and I feel so comforted because here is somebody who just really embodies groundedness, in a culture that is just bristling with people whipped up into emotional frenzies, right? Because that's what
Mhm.
sells, because that's what people want to click. He pops up and I'm like, oh, sigh of relief. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, just keep talking. You look amazing. You sound amazing. It's deeply comforting to me to feel like you mentioned before with the role of the Pope in the church. It's deeply comforting for me to feel like, hey, there's somebody in executive leadership who really makes me feel less anxious. That's a nice
For
feeling,
sure.
you know?
Going back to Pope Francis real quick, like one thing that I loved reading like after he passed was like he was like someone was like, is it bad if I fall asleep like reading the Bible? And he's like, no, like it's like falling asleep in your father's arms. Like and
Oh,
I was like, aw.
oh, that's
I was
great.
like, that's such yeah, I love that. And I always like have that in the back of my mind. Like I'm like, I love that. Like maybe I should start doing that because I mean, I do my morning prayer, my evening prayer. I always miss my night prayer though.
That's funny because my Bible is on my bookshelf near my bed, and every night I think about reading it, and I was like, "Oh, I can't. I don't have the energy. I'm gonna fall asleep." So thank you for giving me permission to fall asleep in my father's arms. That is a beautiful image. Yeah,
Talking about Bibles real quick,
yeah,
my sister sent me this. It's a Bible, but it's a comic. Like it's all the words from the Bible, but it's in a comic,
yeah,
like strip type format.
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna buy that.
That's cool.
I was like, that'd be fun. Like, because I have like several Bibles. Like, I mean, I just been now that I'm Catholic, I just have a couple Bibles now.
Yeah, Bibles all over the place.
Yeah, you really do.
Oh, that's funny. Well, anything else you want to share with me today? This has been such an amazing conversation.
It has been. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably thinking of something when we like log off, of
Yeah, of
course.
course. Yeah, that always happens.
Yes. But this has been a good conversation.
Yeah,
I'm glad we did
me
it.
too. Me too. Thank you so much because
Of
this is the
course.
very first one. I had no idea how it was going to go. I had some rough ideas, but I really appreciate your generosity, your warmth, and your thoughtfulness. Just the way I spent a lot of time in my head just processing Catholicism, what it means to me, and you shared some really personal stuff that I learned a lot from this conversation. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, I'm glad.
yeah,
Like, cause I was like, you were like, all right, we're gonna do this, and I was like, I said it, and I was just like,
yeah.
all right, like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Like it's just very outside my comfort zone. I was telling all my friends, I'm like, it's gonna be really outside my comfort zone. They're like, no, it'll be good, it'll be good. My husband was like, no. So I feel yeah, really good that we did this.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Really
much.
happy, yeah.
Thank you, Simone. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
All right.
I'll talk to you
Alrighty.
soon. Thanks,
Bye.
Alex.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of First Light. I hope Simone's story gave you something meaningful to reflect on. If you'd like to support this mission, you can join my Patreon. The link's down below in the description, or you can make a one-time gift. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss future conversations with others who've found their way into the Catholic Church. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you next time.